Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. If you are not very inspired by the standard slide deck presentation and are looking to create a different kind of presentation, one that links your story to a map, this video is for you. My name is Chinmaya, and in this two-part video, I'm going to show you how to create map story presentations using Google Earth Web. If what you are trying to communicate involves real world locations, why not create a map story presentation and bring in all the geographical context to enrich the story? To do this, you don't need to install any software. It's completely free. All you need is your Google account and you can narrate your story in a fresh, new, and interesting way. For this video, I will demonstrate Google Earth web presentations narrating the story of three major nuclear disasters that the world has seen during the past few decades. Now I can create a standard slide deck presentation to talk about these disasters, but instead I have chosen to create a map story presentation and enrich my narrative by bringing in dynamic geographic context, showing where exactly on the surface of Earth did these events actually happen. So let's start part one and see how we can create a map story presentation using Google Earth Web. So the first thing that we need to do is to open up a browser and go to earth.google.com. So when you reach this site, this is what you're going to see. So before we move forward to actually create a project and a map story presentation, I would like to show you how we can manipulate this globe and what is the function of these buttons here and here. So you can catch hold of the globe by depressing your left mouse button and then just simply moving the globe around. Many of you might be already aware of this, and you can just simply move the globe around, and you can use these buttons here to zoom in into a particular area. Say for example, if we are here and we want to zoom into a particular area, we can do that using these buttons, and we can zoom out of that area using the minus button. If you have a wheel on your mouse, you can just simply move the wheel forward to zoom in and the wheel backward to zoom out. You can also use the page up and page down keys to zoom in and zoom out. So there are many ways of zooming in and zooming out. And you can just simply keep your left mouse button depressed to move the globe to reach any particular part of the Earth and then start zooming in. What you see here is a small globe, and you can click on this globe and then drag your mouse and you will see a small arrow that is pointing to another location. Say for example, if I wanted to go to Australia, so I have kept my left mouse button depressed and dragged this arrow to point to Australia, and then I can just simply let go of the left mouse button. So this globe is going to turn around and then I will be taken to the location, in this particular case, Australia. And you will see here a small rectangle that is demarcating where exactly in Australia we are currently located. So just click on any point and then just simply go ahead and point to some other location on the globe. So for example, now I am pointing to Madagascar and I can just simply drop it. And so from Australia, now I am transported to Madagascar. So the globe is going to zoom out and then zoom in into the location where you have pointed the arrow. If you click on this globe just once, just one single click, you will see the full globe as seen from space. This is showing you approximately the distance of the camera from Earth to give you this kind of a view. You can also see latitude and longitude as you zoom in on this part of the screen. There's a little scale here that gives you correspondence of map to ground distance. So as you move your mouse wheel forward, you can zoom into an area of Earth. You can also use these buttons as I mentioned before. So as we zoom in, we can see the ground much more clearly now. As you can see here, we are zooming into one particular area. Now, what you can do after you have zoomed in into an area is to click on this button, and this is the 3D button. So what this will do is to just simply change the perspective, and you can then see the terrain in 3 dimensions. It's almost as if you're flying over that particular area. If you click on it once, you will see that the motion stops, and you can grab hold of this scene and move it sideways to pan into this particular area, or otherwise you can press the shift key and then just simply rotate this area by moving your mouse left to right on the screen, that is this motion. Or otherwise, if you keep your left mouse button depressed and move your mouse cursor vertically, that is in this direction, up or down, you can actually change the perspective still further. Say for example, if you wanted to see the horizon, you can do that quite easily by just simply keeping your shift key depressed, grabbing this scene with your left mouse button, and then just simply creating a different perspective or a vantage point from where you can actually look over a very vast area. So you will see that this button has now changed to 2D, and as you press your shift key and keep rotating this, you will also see that the compass has now changed its position. So when you click on this, the view is brought back to north. So this button is used to bring back this view towards north, as you can see here. So shift, left mouse button depressed, as you keep rotating, you will see the compass changing, and the moment you click on this particular compass, you will see that the compass is now again pointing towards north. So when you click on this, you get back your perspective. And likewise, when you click on this button now, it's just saying that if you click on it, this is going to become 2D. That is, you are going to see the view from the top. And if you click on this, it becomes 3D and starts rotating. And you can stop it, zoom into this particular area, and have a 3-dimensional perspective. If you double click on this compass button here, you will see that this can be actually enlarged. So when you double click on this, you will see that the globe has now taken the place of the compass, and the compass is now actually much bigger. And you will see that there is an outer ring on this particular compass. So you can grab hold of the outer ring and rotate. And if you wanted to move this to see the horizon or change the perspective, you can just grab hold of the center part of this compass and then move your mouse up and down. The exact same thing that you can do by pressing the shift key and grabbing hold of your left mouse button and then dragging your cursor in a vertical up, down, north, south movement. But the same thing can also be done using this button in the center and then just simply moving this up and down. You can always grab this and bring something else in your view. If you double click on the globe then returns back to its original position. This button here, if you click on this button and if you have given the appropriate permissions for location, this will fly you to your current location, the location from where you are viewing this particular laptop and screen. This button is for Street View, and I'll talk about this button in a short while from now. So let's just click once on this and have the bigger view, the Earth view. And let me just like bring this and zoom in a little bit right here. So when you click on this icon here, you will see an option that permits you to change some settings. So if you click on this, you can turn on or off the fly animation, which basically means that when you click on a location, you just zoom into that particular location. So you can switch that, zooming in or out by switching this on or off. And you can also alter the speed. When Google Earth is taking you or flying you to a new location, that speed can be altered here. If you don't want to see these plus and minus buttons here, you can switch these buttons off from this particular option here, show zoom buttons. As you scroll down, there are a few other options that you can make use of. One is you can change the theme. This is currently being shown as the dark theme, which is the default, but you can change that to something different if you like the light theme, etc. As you scroll down, you can also change the units of measurements. So by default, it is in metric units. So it is in meters and kilometers, but there's a little drop down and you can change it into feet and miles, depending upon your preference. And you can also change the style in which the latitude and longitude is displayed at the bottom of the screen right here. So this is in decimal degrees by default, but you can change it to degrees, minutes, and seconds if you wanted to. And a little later on, I'll show you how to reach locations using search. So if you wanted to clear your search history, you can just simply come here and click on this button right here, and your search history will get cleared. If you make any changes to these default options, don't forget to save it. Otherwise, that option will not take effect. And you can always revert back to defaults by clicking on reset to defaults. So as I have not changed anything here, I'm going to click on cancel and I'm back again here. Using this button right here, you can type in a location and Google Earth will fly you to that particular location. You can explore some other options here that Google Earth has featured, and these are really great in terms of education or to see what exactly is happening around the globe. This is also available from the Voyager button here. So when you click on this, you can have a lot of featured items. As you drag down, you can play some games, you can have some layers, and so on and so forth. So you can just click on any of these and have a look at some of these featured items if you wanted to. This button here just takes you to a random location and you can just explore that location. This button opens up a projects window and we can create a new project. So we will be working on our presentations and we will be using this option in a short while from now. This is the map style button, and if you just click on this button, there are a few choices that you can make right here. In this particular case, for example, as you can see, if you click on the clean map style, you will have a clean globe with no labels, places or roads, etc. As you can see here. By default, it is set to exploration. So you have some minimal labeling on the globe. If you click on everything, you will be able to see labels, photographs, everything that you are actually seeing on Google Maps. So this is another option that can actually be chosen. And you can also click on custom, which you can use to make very fine adjustments to what you would like to see as you zoom in and zoom out. So I'm going to choose exploration, which is the default value. As you scroll down, you will see three buttons. One is for turning on 3D buildings, and I'll just show this to you in a second. If you come down onto the last one, and if you are interested to have a grid around Earth, if you switch this on, you will actually have a grid operational around the Earth, and you can see the prime meridian and the Arctic Circle and annotations which give you latitude and longitude. If you switch this on, turn on animated clouds, you will see the cloud patterns on the globe. As you zoom out or zoom in, you will start seeing animated clouds on the globe. and I'm recording this on the 17th of February 2023, and you can see a very big cyclone called Freddy that is being shown here, and that is heading towards Madagascar. So this is updated every hour. So if you are in an area which is prone to cyclones, or if you want to explore weather events, you can just simply turn this on and you will see that this is animated. So this is showing you how the cloud system is moving in the past 24 hours, and this is updated every hour. So this is a really interesting feature if you are interested in major weather phenomena across the globe. You can just simply come here and switch this on and see this as an animation. So I'm going to switch this off for the time being. Finally, this is a measuring tool. So if you want to measure distances, you can just click on it and then just click on one point and move forward and click on the other point. And then you can just keep moving and it will just keep showing distances. Once you are done, you can just click on this, copy this, or completely get rid of this tool from here. So this can be used for measuring distances. There are two other small tools here. So this can add a place mark. So if you want to mark a location, you can put this place mark right here. Just simply come here and click on this, and you can name this place mark and save it. As we will be working with this in detail, I am not going to mark this at this particular point in time. So using this button here, you can either create a line, just press enter to save a line, or if you wanted to continue and create a shape, you can just simply keep moving forward and just click on the last point to complete the shape and give it a name, and that shape will be available and saved on the map. So this is what some of these buttons do, and we will be using them when we create our map story presentation. So if you want to search a place, you can just come here and click on the search icon and type the name of the place. So say for example, if I type the name of a location and press enter, I can choose from here or just press enter, and it's going to fly me to that particular location. And the speed and the fly animation that I was talking about earlier is what you are seeing on your screen. So you can then just simply zoom in. Now this seems to be an interesting place in New York, Museum of Ice Cream. So what you can now do is to click on this button here. If you click on 3D, you will see that the perspective changes quite substantially. And this is what was meant by switching this button on, turn on 3D buildings. If you switch this off, you will see this only as a satellite picture, flat. But if you switch this on, you will see these buildings in 3 dimensions. So this is what this particular button does, and therefore it is an important setting to keep on if you are working in urban areas, for example. So when you click on this button right here, you will see these blue lines and some blue spots. So you can just simply move to a particular location, say for example right here, and then just click on this blue line to enter the street view. So it will actually show you how the place looks like, and you will see these two arrows, so you can move as if you are walking forward in this particular street, forward or back, and then you can grab hold of this scene and turn around, and we can see the Museum of Ice Cream in New York right here, and then you can just simply look up. So this is a full, absolutely correct 3-dimensional view of this particular area. Clicking on this will move you forward. Many of you would have already experienced this, but I'm just showing this for the benefit of people who have not yet used Google Street View. So you can move into any street if you want, and then just simply keep walking in that particular street, and then just simply turn around and then just go forward. So it is as if you are walking into a particular area. And you can then just click on this button once again, and you are back again to your perspective view. Let me click on this globe once to get the Earth view. So what you can also do to reach a location is to click on the search button, and if that location does not have a name, say for example there is a wilderness area or whatever, you can also reach that location by typing in the latitude and longitude of that particular location. So I'm just going to show you that. I'm coming here and typing in latitude first and longitude. So minus 79.0778 or any other latitude and longitude. This number is negative because the location which I'm trying to reach is on the west from the prime meridian, and this location is above the equator. So if you are wanting to reach a location, you need to have the correct coordinates. And when you have done this, just press enter. The globe will move and then you will just simply be taken to that particular location. So if you don't know the name of a place, or if a place is not named, you can just simply type in the latitude, longitude of that area, and you will be taken to that particular location. In this case, it is the Niagara Falls. So you can reach an area by just simply typing in that particular location. As you keep searching, you will see this option here, and you can clear all your searches if you wanted to. So you will also see that when you reach a particular location, you also get this knowledge card that gives you more information about that particular point. If it's a famous place, you will have more information about that particular place automatically inserted by Google. So let me just click on this once again, and we will just zoom out and have the full globe view. So this is what these buttons basically do. So let's now create a small demo presentation of 3 major nuclear disasters that the world has seen in the past few decades. So the first thing that we need to do before we move any forward is to just come here and click on this and sign in using our Google account credentials. So you can just click on this button and sign into your Google account. So once we have logged in, we can start creating our project. Just come here and click on the projects button, and you should see this screen. So just click on create. You have 2 options. We are going to choose the first one, create project in Google Drive. So the project that we are just about to create will be saved on your Google Drive in a folder called as Google Earth. So just click on this and we start with a new project. Currently it is untitled. So I'm going to click on this pencil icon here and give this project a title. So I'm going to call it Major Nuclear Disasters. You can also add a small description, something like this. Once we are done, we can then now proceed to add new features. This button here will delete this project, and this button will reload the project. And using this button, you can share this project for others to view online, or otherwise, if you have collaborators working on this particular project, you can invite them to collaborate on this project and create content. So we will talk about these a little later on. So we are now ready to start our project. So we can click on this button, new feature button here, and there are a few things that we can add to the project. One is a place mark. This is a place of interest, which is called as a place mark. You can also draw a line or a shape. You can add a folder. You can add a full screen slide. So we'll have a look at all these. The first thing that we now want to do for this demo presentation, which will be highlighting 3 sites where major nuclear disasters have taken place, is to first go and reach that particular location. So I'm going to come here and click on search, and in this particular case I will type in Fukushima nuclear, and you can see that there is an option for nuclear power plant near Fukushima. I'm going to click on this. So once you do that, the globe rotates and it will take you to the Fukushima plant. So as you can see here, so we can just zoom into that particular area. And we can now see this particular plant, which was the site of a major nuclear disaster in 2011 as a result of tsunami. As you can see, this plant is on the coast. And the first thing we want to do is to just create an appropriate view that we would like to capture. In this particular case, let me just go and do a little bit of 3D and just rotate this a little bit. I'm pressing down my shift key and then rotating it to get a view. So let's just settle down on this particular view. And now what I'm going to do is to add a new place mark. So let me just come here and click on this. So you will notice that the cursor has now changed to a crosshair, and you can just click on this and add a place mark. So let me just call it Fukushima nuclear plant. Now you can add a lot of things to this particular place mark, as you can see here, but the place mark itself can also be changed. So you can have an extra large icon to depict the place mark. You can change the color of the place mark, and you can also change the shape of the place mark. So using this place mark box, you can make changes to a lot of things here. You can see more icons, and you can also upload your own icons. Now there are a few other things that you can do. You can add some description about the Fukushima nuclear plant incident. I have some material here that I have collected from Wikipedia. So I can just come here and paste this material inside this particular box. And you will notice that there is a link at the end. So that link is automatically recognized as a link. People can click on it and know a little bit more about this particular incident. You have formatting tools here. You can convert a piece of text in a link. And if you are missing bullet points, you can actually just come and click here. And then you can add your bullet points inside this little box here. So you can play a lot with the text that you want to enter and show when people see this incident in your presentation. Now, what you can also do is to add some photographs to illustrate. Just click on this icon and you are taken to a dialog. You can upload your own photographs from your computer if you had some. You can just drag and drop them here. Otherwise, you can search for photographs on Google Image. So you can just come here and let us just type Fukushima nuclear disaster and search for some images. So you can see that there are some images that are immediately pretty graphic that we can use. So as you click on an image, it gets added here, and we can then add another image. So let me just add this image, and we can keep going and adding more and more image. What's really nice is you can also add videos. So if you want your audience to have a more detailed look, you can add a YouTube video. So let us just search for an appropriate video. So this is a documentary that seems very suitable. So I can just click on this and select. So we now have also added a video. So we can keep adding more images. And if you want to change any of these images, just click on it and click on this pencil icon. And you are taken back to video or images, and you can change those choices that you have made here. So once you are done and you have a view set, you need to press this button here. It says capture this view. So just simply go ahead and click on it, and you will be told that the view has been saved. And we can just go ahead and preview this. So when you click on this, you will see that not only you are seeing this particular view, you are also now being shown text that is describing this event here. The text that you have pasted in this particular box appears here. And for the pictures that you have added, you have a carousel of pictures here. So you can just click on this and see pictures of the disaster, as you can see here. And you can also click on this and watch a video. So when you click on this, the video will start.
Fukushima power plant disaster.
So once you are done, you can always come back And there's one other thing that you can do. This is what is called as a small info box. If you don't want this info box, you can just choose no info box. But there's another option, and that is a large info box. So you can just come here and click on this. And when you go ahead and do a preview, this is what you're going to see. So one part of the screen is now completely taken by the text box and the image carousel, which becomes a little more larger. And you can just simply go ahead and keep looking at these images. And this is what the large info box does. I'm going to just keep this to the small info box and just see in the preview how this is working. So once I'm happy with this, I have already captured this view. So you will notice that the first place mark has been added, the first incident has been added. We can substantially improve and add more views to this particular site, but we will do that a little later. Let's now go and add another place mark. So I'm going to click on the search button and I'm going to come here, and then I will now type in Chernobyl nuclear power plant. So I can see this here, Chernobyl nuclear power plant. I'm going to click on this and I am now transported to Chernobyl. So this is going to be my second slide, so as to say, in this presentation. This is the place where another major nuclear disaster had taken place. This is the site of the Chernobyl nuclear plant. I'm pressing shift and just trying to rotate this particular thing here. So after we have set a view, we can just come here and click on add new feature and add a place mark, and come here and add a place mark right here and call this Chernobyl. And I have some material that I have copied from Wikipedia once again. And so I'm just going to come here and paste it inside the box, as I did for my Fukushima nuclear disaster slide. And I can just come here and repeat the same thing, default size to be an extra large icon, and the color of the icon being red. So this is the Chernobyl nuclear plant that you are seeing here. And once I'm happy with the view, I can just come here and capture this view. So this is my second view that I have saved. And likewise, I can also add some photographs here. So if I can just come back here and look for some images, these are some of the images that we can include here. So I'm going to select here just the same as we did for Fukushima and click on some others. So we can keep adding images. We can also add YouTube videos as we have done before. So once we are done with this, we can just come here and click on preview, and you can see that we have a similar kind of detail that has an image carousel which includes all these images. And if you click on any of these images, you can actually see these images in detail. If you're not happy with any particular image, just click here and you can choose a different image and add that particular image to your collection. Once we are done with this, we'll go back. So we have added two locations, and you can see that two locations are stacked one on top of each other. And these can be like slides in PowerPoint, but they are actually not slides. These are just place marks. So once we press on present, we can actually move from one location to the other. This will be the first location, followed by this, and followed by the third one that I'm just about to enter. So you can always come back here and click on this pencil icon and add an image or change a view. In this particular case, I have changed this view, and you can then capture this view once again, and that view will now be saved with this particular place mark. So you can always edit any place mark that you have created before. Let's now add a third place mark, and I'm going to come here and click on 3 Mile Island nuclear plant, and I'm going to come here and click on this option right here. So this is going to take me to the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant, which suffered a partial meltdown in 1979, I think. So you can see this 3 Mile Island nuclear plant right here. And I'm going to come to project and create a view and add a place mark, and come and click here and name this place mark as 3 Mile Island nuclear plant. And I can then just simply press down my shift key and create a more desirable view of this particular plant, maybe even looking at the horizon if I wanted to. So something like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and capture this particular view. So I have some text that I have taken from Wikipedia, like I have done for the others. So I'm going to come here and paste that particular text inside this box. I'm going to add a few pictures that I want to include. This is the same as before, and then I can just change the color, and I can change the icon here and make this into a large size icon such that it is visible from a distance. And as we preview this, you will see that we have a carousel of images as we have before, and we can have a look at some of the details. If somebody is interested, they can click on this link. So once we have done this, you will notice that we have 3 locations, and we can now start presenting our collection of locations or place mark, just like we would do with a PowerPoint slideshow. So let me just start with present, and it'll start from this one, then it'll come to this one, and then it'll come to this one. This is the sequence. So let me just click on present. So this takes me to the first location and the view that I had saved for that particular location. So you can see the Fukushima nuclear plant. And if you're presenting this live, this map is actually live. So you can zoom in, zoom out, and press the shift key and change the view. You can, try to also show what is around this particular plant. So this is not a frozen view. You can actually play around with the map and show a larger portion, and like keep explaining to your audience why this disaster happened, what were the areas near it, and so on and so forth. So once you're done with this, you will see here we are on slide 1 of 3. We can click on this button, and we can just go ahead, and we will now be taken to the second place mark in that particular list, the second slide, as a matter of speaking. So we are now at the Chernobyl nuclear plant site, the view that we had saved, and you have details about the Chernobyl plant. You have this image carousel that people can actually see. If you're sharing this presentation online, people can read, they can follow it up with this link, and they can also see images in the carousel right here. And as I was mentioning before, this is a live map. You can zoom into any particular location and see that location in much, much more detail. This is a containment dome that was built later on to safely confine all the nuclear waste that might be still present at the site of this particular plant. So we can now move on to the third location. So we can just come here and click on this, and we will now go to the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant. So this is taking us now to the other side of the globe, to US, in the state of Pennsylvania, the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant, and people can read about this particular plant and see pictures in the image carousel. If a video is present, they can also view the video. If you click on this icon here, you will see that you can actually directly go to any one of these slides just simply by clicking on that particular slide. Say, for example, if I wanted to go back to Fukushima, I need not just basically reverse back to 2 and then 1. I can directly click on this and revert back to the Fukushima plant, and the globe will turn and take me to the Fukushima plant. So this is how you can create a map story presentation. This is a simple demonstration. You can just keep adding as many slides as you want. Once you are done, you want to get back to your editing window, you can either press escape key on your keyboard or just click on this icon right here and you will see your 3 place marks. Just click on the space bar to stop zooming. So we can keep adding as many features as we want and keep continuing with it. I suggest that the first thing you need to do, or you should be doing, is to enter all the locations that you want to show inside this map story presentation. And then we can just go ahead and keep adding more and more stuff to this particular presentation. And let me show you how we can add lines and images and also add place marks in a slightly different way. Now, when you look at these 3 place marks, if you want to change their order, you can easily just come to any place mark and grab it and move it upwards. So if you want to put these incidents in a chronology, we can just simply come here and move them and change the order of the slide. So once we do that, we can then go to present and you will see that the order in which the 3 place marks are now being presented has changed, and we are able to move the 3 Mile Island place mark to the first position. We can then go to Chernobyl, and then from there we can go to Fukushima. So just press the space bar if you want to interrupt this, and we'll go back here. So you can move all of these in any way that you want, even after you have created this particular presentation. So this is one interesting feature. You can rearrange these place marks. So there's another way in which I can add a new place mark. I can come to search and I can type in, say for example, Fukushima, and if I knew the exact plant name, in this particular case, Daiichi. So you can see that this is the entry for Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, the exact one that I want. So when I click on this, you will see that if it is something that is well known, you will get a knowledge card automatically created for you. So you can see that we have come to the exact same point, but this time around we have a knowledge card, as Google Earth likes to call it. So instead of you going and manually adding a place mark, you can just simply come here and click on add to project. So when you click on this, a new place mark is created, and this place mark has material that Google has gathered on its own. It also includes a number of photographs. If you are not happy with this, you can always click on the replace button and enter your own text and images as I have shown before. So before we press the replace button, if at all, we can just come and look at the preview of this. So you will see that this knowledge card has now been created automatically by Google Earth, and we can just simply go ahead and click on more info, and you will see that it is filled this particular carousel with a huge number of images that it has automatically gathered on its own for this particular disaster. And then you can come down and have more information on this particular plant, click a link, and so on and so forth. So this is something that has been created on its own, and this is what is a knowledge card. If you are not happy with this information and you want to add your own information, then just click on replace, and you will find that you can just simply go ahead and type in your information and add more images, as we have seen before. So in this particular case, you will see that a new place mark has been added. So I'm going to delete this, and so we are back to our 3 original locations that we had created earlier. So once we have all the locations that we wish to cover as place marks or slides inside our project, we can now try to add more detail to each slide if we wanted to. There is one other way in which we can add a place mark. So let me show that to you, and for that let us just go to one of these slides, the Chernobyl nuclear plant. So I'm going to double click on this and reach that particular place. So this is the Chernobyl nuclear plant, and we see a very imposing structure here. this is the confinement structure that has been built to kind of contain any fugitive radiation from the remains of the plant. So if we wanted to see this in more detail, we could open the street view. So to do that, you can just click on the street view button, and you will immediately see that there are roads and points that are blue in color, and you can click on any of these blue points as I have explained before, and we can then enter the street view. So as you zoom in, you may see some more points appear possibly. Let's click on this particular point. I'm going to just click here, and you will see that it tries to enter the street view mode, as you can see here. And we are now standing on the roof of a building that is facing the steel containment zone. So we can actually, using these arrows, move forward or backward or move on the roof. This is how it is looking on the ground. And you can zoom in also a little bit just to expand this. So once you are happy with the view, you can just simply come here and click on this button, capture this view. So this is applicable for street view, and wherever street views are available, you can just simply use this feature. So we will just click on this particular button, and this view has been captured, and let us call this confinement structure for brevity. You can include a link here from Wikipedia or other sources to let people know a little bit more about this particular structure. So once we are done, we can then just come back, and you will see that a new place mark has been added. But because this is connected to Chernobyl, we can just drag it and bring it right under Chernobyl. So we can add many more such views if we wanted to. So if we can just come back here and add one more, and maybe help people see what is inside this structure. So let us just click on the street view button once again. And there are quite a few views available if you click on these dots. Let's try this one and include one more at least. So it tries to go and create a street view on that particular point. And as you can see, this is a view from inside the structure. So if you wanted to include this also, all you have to do is to come here and click on this and just simply give it a title, and that's just about it. And we can just come here, and this is all live. So as you present, or as somebody is actually watching this online, they can rotate it and have a different angle and view inside this structure. So when we come back, you will find that once again we have a new view, and because this is pertaining to Chernobyl, we are just going to bring it under the Chernobyl segment. So as we present this, you will see that we start from Fukushima, and if I can just stop this and come to the Chernobyl nuclear plant, so that is 2 out of 5 slides. The first view that we get is of Chernobyl nuclear power plant from a distance. And then as we move this forward, we will see the street view of Chernobyl. And this is what we had saved. So we see the confinement structure, and then next we will see what is inside this particular structure. So it will just simply open up this particular view, and then finally it will take us to the 3 Mile Island slide. So this is how you can add street views or places using street views. Let me just go back to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant once again and show you a couple of other features that can also be included. So if, for example, you wanted to add a line, or if you wanted to add a shape, you can actually do so. And if you lose the direction, like the north direction or the perspective as you're moving around, just click on the image and press the R key on your keyboard. So that then brings the plan view. And let us say, for example, we wanted to add a line. So we can come here and draw a line. And if we wanted to annotate something, we can add this particular line, and then just double click on it to complete the line, and you can detail this particular line. So we can just say path 1, and this is done. And if, say, for example, we wanted to draw a shape, so the tool is exactly the same. we can just come here and click on the shape and keep moving forward, clicking using your left mouse button, and then come back to the same point and then double click on it to close the shape. So you can highlight any particular area and this will become an interesting annotation. If you want to change the color, you can change the color. You can change the width from here, maybe like 2 pixels and so on and so forth. And if it is a shape, you can also change the fill color if you wanted to. Say, for example, if I wanted to have this kind of color, I can also change the transparency. If I want it more full or less full, I can do that using some of these options here. So once these are done, you have a path and you have a pond. You can then once again bring it at the appropriate place under Chernobyl, because this is about Chernobyl. And as you now come to the Chernobyl slide, you will start seeing these options also available. When you come to this particular place, this will be visible all the time unless and until you shut it off. If you don't want to see it, you'll have to just come here and hide this particular feature. Otherwise, as long as you are in this area, these lines and shapes will remain visible. But what you can do definitely is you can, edit it and zoom in a little bit closer when this feature is coming, and you can then capture this scene for this particular shape, and you can then come here to the path and then maybe zoom in to the path and capture this view for the path. So when you are presenting and you reach this particular site, you will see these visible because they are there and you have not hidden them. So you can see a little path and a shape visible. And as you move forward, you are then like kind of taken to that particular shape. It comes into focus. Then the path is going to come into focus. And then you can keep moving with other items that are lined after this particular path. So this is how you can add a shape or a line to annotate anything on the map. And these are all live things. You can zoom in and zoom out, as I have already mentioned. Many times what happens is if you have lots of shapes and paths, etc., what you can do is you can, kind of add a folder. So let us say, for example, and enter. So a folder has been added and you can drag some of these drawings and put them inside one single container object. So you can just simply catch hold of them and put them inside the folder such that all your drawing objects are at one point. And if you wanted to hide all of them, all you need to do is to just hide the folder itself. So this is how you can actually use the folder to gather all your drawings and shapes, etc. at one point. You can at any time take them out again and place them outside the folder. So I'm doing that now, and then you can just come here and delete the folder. So all this is possible. Finally, what you can also do is you can add a full screen slide. Now this is a really good feature. And so when you click on this, it permits you to give a title. So let me just call it presentation. And this is like a real PowerPoint kind of slide where you can type anything that you want. So for example, if I can just simply say major nuclear disasters. So you can choose the background by putting in some image and choose the color and all that kind of thing. So let us just come out of this and see how this basically looks like. So this is how it is going to look. So this is just a plain background. And if you wanted to edit it and change the background, for example, you could make it like red and you can put in an image in the background. As you come back and look at this particular slide, you will see that the color of this slide has changed. So this can actually be used as a title slide at the beginning, or can also be used to break sections. You can have different sections, so you can keep creating more than one full screen slides, and you can then just simply use it as section breaks. So if you already have a picture, you can add a picture also to this, and that will really enhance or enrich the content on this particular slide. Let me show you one other trick here, just to show you how this full slide can also be used. So we will just click here and say full screen slide. So you could just click on this and then just simply come here and drop your image, or for that matter search an image on the internet, and that image then gets integrated inside, and you can then see, we bring it here, and let me just hide this one. So this now becomes the first slide, and when we present, you will see that we have created a much better title slide as compared to the previous one, which was just very plain with a background. So you can, create a small JPG picture or a PNG picture and then just simply bring it in and add it here to this particular presentation slide. So this is a really powerful feature that you can use to bring in additional text or picture or illustration, using it as a cover slide, a thank you slide, or a slide that creates a partition between different sections. So this is the power of the full screen slide. I'm not deliberately covering this because this is a little more involved and not really needed, the tile overlay, but then these are the important ones that you can add to your project. So this concludes part 1. In part 2, I will show you how to create and import KML files, collaborate and share your presentations, and watch your presentations on your mobile phone. Hope you like this video. I look forward to seeing you in part 2. Take care and bye for now.